What's up, guys? It's Mokozunky, and welcome back to Dark Souls 2. This is going to be episode 2 here, and we're still in the Forest of Fallen Giants. Even though we've beaten both the bosses in this area, there's still a couple things to do. One thing is I want to get like the hidden weapon of this area, and there's one weapon called like the Armor Breaker or something like that that's really bad, but there's another weapon that you can get called the Bastard Sword, and it's one of the best two-handed weapons in the game that you can use, or primarily two-handed focus. Like, you can use it one-handed, I believe, if you are experienced enough in like your strength or something like that. But we're going to be trying to get it, and one of the main reasons why is, for one, it's pretty well hidden, and since I would like this to be more of like a walkthrough than a let's play, I want to show off, some of the locations of the cool weapons. There are some really cool weapons and spells that are kind of difficult to get, or in really hard to reach locations, or just in locations that you probably wouldn't have thought of looking in if it's your first ever time through the game. Well, first of all, we're going to grab this ring here, which there should be a ring in this chest, I believe. It's not a very good one, but it's better than not wearing a ring, because I think we only have one ring equipped at the moment, so we might as well wear this ring restoration. It slowly restores HP, but which sounds good, but the HP restoration is so slow that it really doesn't make a difference, and I think you're pretty much better off just like not wearing the ring at all, because it makes really almost no difference at all. Okay, so this sword we're gonna have to honestly find the location of it, so we'll have to do a little bit of exploring here because I can't quite remember, but there should be a place where there would normally be a fog gate that we can go through. And there was a fog gate over here. Is this it? I have pretty much killed out all the enemies since the last time I rested at the bonfire, which is nice because that means there's not going to be a whole lot of enemies going after us. And one other thing that we can do is we can get the key to the mansion in Majula, which is something I haven't done yet. Off camera, I did get a few souls, so I killed some enemies and I joined another person's game and helped them kill the pursuer, which you get like 15,000 souls for, so it's really good. But I haven't done anything other than those two. So yeah, let's go get the key to the mansion Majula, because that's one thing that doesn't take too long, and it is important because you can get another Estus Flask shard by doing that. So to get the key to the mansion in Majula, first of all, we have to, head down this way. Not down this way. We have to head downstairs and go into another area, which is going to, I guess we can go this way as well, because I'm just like thinking of the different paths that you could potentially take, and I guess this one's probably going to be a little bit faster, but it's down here in this large open area, and there's also going to be like a ton of enemies down here, so hopefully I don't die. Oh, I hope you can get on this tree branch. You have to like walk down the tree branch to get up to this place in the first place, so we have already been down here. Okay, so to get to the place where the key is, you have to walk on this tree branch, roll off, and I should have like a lot of enemies coming at me right now, so I'll have to watch out for that. That guy hit me, even though I thought I had a pretty nice roll there, but I guess it just wasn't quite up to par. I am getting shot by like an archer, because there's a lot of those in this area. Oh man, I got this guy one hit, so my damage with the mace has been improving, it looks like. Oh, I'm stuck in a corner, this is really bad. You never ever want to get stuck between a rock and a hard place, or stuck between two enemies, because that usually leads to your death. I don't have any Estus left. Oh, this is where we have to go. Okay, well, we'll go back to this room here. This is a room that I was looking for earlier and completely forgot about, but this is the place where that sword is that I was talking about. It's going to be in this room. Oh my goodness. Okay, there's 3 enemies. This is never a good place to be in, where you have like a whole bunch of enemies coming at you all at once. I'm going to try to like lure them across this bridge, and maybe try to get some hits in one at a time. It looks like only one enemy is following me, which is perfect. I can take him out while his buddies are running away. And then I can go back into this large area with a whole ton of enemies in it, and hopefully we can start taking them out one at a time. So this guy's got his back turned. We're not going to get the backstab in because he turned around at the last second, but this does mean we can kill him and not have to worry too much about it. That dude with the spear and sword looks like he got stuck down at the bottom there, which sucks for him, but it's great for me because the guys with shields are really annoying to deal with because they block so many of your hits. Okay, so we're going to have to do some jumping here, and jumping in Dark Souls 2 is always kind of an adventure, because sometimes it works better than others, as in sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but we got across there, and this should be the place. Alright, so there is a trap here. Yep, the boulder comes down. So if you're sprinting through that area, normally you'll be hit by the boulder. But if you just take it slow and walk, it's fine. There's a guy up here who will be able to talk to him. And this guy is actually one of those NPCs that you can get to go back to town. And I'm not sure if you can buy anything from him. Most of the NPCs that go back to town, they like open up shops eventually, and you can buy helpful items from them. And also an interesting thing about lots of the NPCs in the game is if you spend a certain amount of souls at them, they will unlock more of their stock. And that's not the case with every single shopkeeper, but that is the case with probably over half of them. So that's something I might want to invest in, is start spending some souls on shopkeepers as well. I don't think there's anything else down here. No, I already picked up the items. So we can head out and we can go get that sword thing, and we can go to an area that I personally have never been to before. So I'm kind of excited because I admittedly forgot to use the soldier key, which is the key that we got after killing the last giant, to open all 3 of the doors. I'd been through the other 2 doors that it's required for. I don't know, I just skipped out on the 3rd one for whatever reason and never thought to go down that path. So one sword that you can use that's really easy to get early on in the game is the Drangleic sword. I'll show it here, and we will not be using this sword, and the reason for that is because the requirements to use it are just really high, 25 strength and 20 dexterity. I'm not going to have that anytime soon, so I think I'll just hold off on using that sword because, yeah, I don't want to put that many points into those attributes, because I think we'd rather go down like the spell casting route. I think that's a bit more fun than just whacking enemies with a sword, although I'm not saying that whacking enemies with a sword is bad. It does have its merits. So we do have these turtle guys coming after us. They do really look like turtles, and a lot of people call them the turtle guys, and you can kind of understand why. I mean, they do bear a striking resemblance to, you know, the famous Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, and they're so easy to kill because I think it's because we're using a mace, and maces are really good against like people with armor. So I believe that's why they're going down so easily. I could be wrong about that, but so I have absolutely no idea what's going on in this area. Again, it's like my first time being down here. I tried to get the backstab on him, but he got wise and he turned around before I was able to get it off. So these turtle guys, like, way easier, because I thought, you know, we're still fairly low level. These turtle guys are a decently high-leveled creature. You know, I thought it would, you know, take several hits to take him out. Apparently not. So we just have to go get this other turtle guy who's wandered off. And he's guarding his post, I mean, which I guess that's probably what he's getting paid to do. So I suppose that's a positive on his end, but we're going to be able to kill him in just 2 hits with this mace, which I'm kind of like surprised how good this mace is, because yeah, I mean, it's like just the weapon that we start with, and it's doing work, so I'm always happy to see that. I'm not going to complain. Oh no, we missed with the completely whiffed on the 2nd hit with our mace, which was kind of a fail. Okay, so we just need this guy to swing. We can jump back, jump in there, and take him down. Okay, so I have no idea what's past this door. I know eventually, supposedly we'll get to the sword, because I know you get the sword in this area, and it's the only item I've never gotten from this area, so it must be in this location. Okay, so we got an archer here. I wonder if we could get a backstab on that turtle. It looks like we can't walk up here, though. So 2 enemies at once, of course. You know, we all know the rules with 2 enemies at once. Just be really, really careful. Although they are on the other side of that gap, so maybe they can't even get at me. I'm going to climb up this ladder really quick and see if there's anything interesting. Oh, there's a turtle. Look out. Oh, there's 2 turtles. Holy crap. Alright, this is dangerous. I just need to be really, really careful here that I don't get hit, because these guys' attacks do so much damage. So, we're going to be able to take them out, I'm guessing, but... Oh, I missed. That's really not good. Okay, he went through the 3-hit combo, so I should be able to take that guy out. Okay, so now that there's only 1 turtle left, this should be a piece of cake. They're very vulnerable on their own, just because their attacks take so long to do that you can very easily just like jump back and forth between their swings. Alright, so another ladder to go down here. We'll check this out. There's probably like a whole bunch of chests and good loot, I'm guessing, because, you know, there's so many turtles in this area that you would think... Oh no, I forgot they could do that. Oh, that hurts. That really hurts. However, are you gonna fall back again? Yes, he is. But what that means is I can easily kill him. Okay, please tell me there's no more turtles in this building. I've had enough of them. Okay, but there are just some regular hollow soldiers. These guys, Should be fine. I mean, we fought a ton of them at this point. If you haven't figured out how to kill hollow soldiers, you're going to be in for a surprise for the rest of the game, I think, because it only gets harder from that. This is definitely like the hardest part of the Giant's Forest area. And there's the Bastard Sword. Alright, so we just found one of the better weapons in the game, and I know a lot of people really like using this one. 140 base damage is not bad. The Drang Lake Sword does have better damage. So I'm not really certain what's so good about the Bastard Sword. The Drang Lake Sword just looks straight up better in terms of stats, and also the Drang Lake Sword is easier to get. Well, easier. You have to kill the Pursuer in order to get the Drang Lake Sword, but once you have killed the Pursuer, like, you just get the sword. You don't have to fight like 45 turtles and go through a rather difficult early starting game area in order to get the sword, but I don't know, maybe it has like some special effects or something like that that I'm not aware of yet. That's very possible. There seems to be like archers shooting at me and stuff. I'm going to pick up this item. I've never had this item before. And over in this area, that's the area that we got the key to the mansion in Majula from the map maker guy. I forget what his name is, like Pete or something like that. The guy that I said we're going to rescue and bring back to town eventually. Oh, I got that archer guy. We finally get revenge on him. He actually dodged my swing. That's supposed to be my move, buddy. That's what I'm supposed to do to you. So I do remember that there was another turtle. I'm gonna like fully explore this area and loot everything, of course. I don't know what happened to the turtle, though. There is a turtle right here. He disappeared, and that really worries me. A giant rests in peace. I think this is somewhere where you can come back later in the game and possibly do something with that giant. I don't want to like spoil anything if anyone hasn't played the game, but let's just say it seems like something you would be able to work on later. So there's a bonfire here. I'm gonna light that. It seems like a really strange place for a bonfire because this seems like the end of a path and not really somewhere you're able to make a whole lot of progress from. But whatever. I mean, I've never lit that bonfire before, so that's pretty cool. I think there are 5 bonfires in the Giant's Forest, and I know where 4 of them is. There's one that I just have no idea where it is. Okay, here's a chest here. I haven't opened this chest before, so I have to hit it just to make sure it's not a chest monster. It looks like this one was not. And we're going to get the leather armor set and a large soul of a proud knight, which is quite a few souls. That's like 5,000 or 8,000. It's a decent amount, so I'm happy to get that. A lot of times there's chests hidden under stairwells and stuff where you wouldn't really think to look, but it doesn't look like there's anything more in this area. Alright, awesome. Well, I mean, we got a lot of loot from this place, and I lit a bonfire that I've never seen before, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, there is, I think, 1 bonfire in this area that I just have no idea where it is, and I'd be curious to learn that someday. But anyway, we did get the loot. Even though I'm never going to use stuff like the Bastard Sword or that leather armor set, I'll probably not use it. We'll check out the stats in this armor set really quick and see if it's anything that I might want to upgrade from. These Archdrake robes that I'm wearing right now are pretty good, so I'm just going to stick with them. Although they are kind of heavy, but I am under my equipment weight. The Drang Lake mail gives a ton of defense, obviously, but it also weighs a lot, so I can't really wear it because wearing it would put me like way over the weight limit. And one thing that you can do is you can sell items that you don't want later in the game. So like this, yeah, these infantry armors and stuff like that that are just useless right now. We will be able to sell them to a guy that we'll meet later on. So right now we can't do anything with them, but eventually you can sell your stuff. And I really like doing that just because I don't like having a ton of items in my inventory that I'm never really planning on using because it just gets crowded. We're going to pop some of these souls here. All the soul items in the game are poppable, and the boss souls, you can also pop them for some souls, or you can use them to make some really crappy weapons. There are some decent boss weapons, but not in the first playthrough of the game. For the good boss weapons, you have to wait till the second playthrough. Or you can use a bonfire aesthetic, which is a pretty cool mechanism in this game where you can like make bosses more difficult and get better rewards from them. And I might end up doing that. There is a ring which is like almost essential for mages if you're planning on like going down a spellcasting route. Yeah, there's a ring that you really want to have. I'll just say that. But the only way to get it is by using a bonfire aesthetic. So I'm gonna get up to adaptability 20. And it seems kind of weird because all adaptability does, right, is it just it makes your rolling better. Like you can roll quicker. I believe there's just less delay time between your swings and rolls and stuff like that, and also there's more, it's easier to dodge attacks by using rolls. And the reason for that is we don't have a shield. Well, we actually do have a shield, but we can't use it. Not quite yet, anyway. Let's see what the best shield I have. I do have a small leather shield that I could use. I have a large leather shield as well that blocks 90% of damage. And I do have the stats to use it. So I might as well get this out just in case for some boss fights. It might be handy to have there's a leather shield out, but I'm planning on just dodge rolling. At least the next couple bosses we're going to fight. I'll just try to dodge roll their attacks. So the next area we can go to is down here and through this area. And this is quite a large one. There's, I think, 2 bosses that you can fight in this area. And also, since we are a priest, we can get our first miracles, which are like spells, but for priests, they're called miracles. For mages, they're called spells, and for sorcerers, they're called dark magic, but all just essentially different types of spells. And you need a pretty high level in your faith attribute in order to use most of the miracles. And me personally, like, there's uses for every miracle in the game, but I find the priest miracles or priest spells to be really bad for the most part. Like, the heal ones are alright. We can get a better healing miracle fairly soon. I may do that, but for the most part, like, the damage doing miracles I found are just, they really pale in comparison to the normal spells that you can use. So if I do end up being a caster, and that's probably what I'm going to eventually end up doing, I think I'm going to go for dark magic instead of like using priest stuff. Dark magic and melee for the most part. Also, pyromancy is pretty strong in this game, which is essentially like using fire spells and stuff. So I think there's a pretty good chance you may see some of that as well. But pyromancy, unfortunately, you can't use that right away. That's something that you have to use later. So these guys, oh, that guy did a 4-hit combo. Normally they go for 3 attacks, and I failed to dodge roll that one. But luckily their time in between their attacks is actually fairly slow, so they're pretty easy to take out. We're going to summon this guy right here just to try to help out. We're also going to light this bonfire, so just in case I die, I'll respawn here and I don't have to walk all the way back. So hopefully this guy will pop into the game and we'll be able to use him just to clear out this area. There are places where these big guys here, like, they're grouped up in large groups, and it's possible to take them out solo. It's just really annoying, so we'll try to use the Spork of Justice here to help us out a little bit. So this guy, oh man, that was a really bad dodge roll. This guy here actually has a really good drop. I was hoping he would die before I would get hit there. But he dropped Sublime Bone Dust, and what that's used for is that's actually used to upgrade your Estus Flask. So pretty soon here we'll be able to heal more out of our Estus Flask. It doesn't really change a whole lot other than the fact that you just heal more life points from it. So this guy might actually fall off the edge. I have seen these guys fall off the edge into the water before. It's pretty hilarious. So you can pull a lever here, which I'm going to do. Yeah, you just got to kill the guard for it first. And this lever helps out because if you look right before us, that's a boss arena. There's going to be a boss in there eventually. And the arena is really small, so it's kind of easy to fall off into the water. And now the arena just grew larger, so essentially it's easier not to fall off. And usually when I die in this game, it's to falling off into the water. So for me personally, I'm really glad to see that happen, so I'm not going to die. Or at least I know I'm probably not going to die to falling off. Is this guy just trying to run past? Let's take out this enemy here. These guys drop like 400 souls, so I mean, profit-wise, it's pretty worth killing them, I would say. Okay, we got another guy coming at us here. Just dodge out of the way of his attack. They almost always do 3 hits per attack, and then you can get a couple hits off yourself before their next attack. So it's really easy to time that. Alright, so let's go for the first boss. The one nice thing about this area, which I think is called Heide's Tower of Flame, is that the 2 bosses in this area are really close together, so it doesn't take too long. Do you want to fight the other boss? I guess he wants to fight the other boss. Oh, he wants me to pull the lever. Okay, there is another lever here. And it does the same thing that the last lever does. It just makes it easier to not fall off in the boss arena. So I guess after this, we can go for the boss of this area. Which seems kind of crazy, because in the last giant forest, it took like, I don't know, a good 20 minutes upon entering the forest to actually get to the boss. And here it's like, you just run, kill a few enemies from the bonfire, and then you're there already. Which I guess is kind of nice. Alright, so the 2H guys, two-handed swordsmen, they're kind of difficult to dodge. as you can see by my poor example of dodging here. Just because their swings do have like a really wide arc. But let's go ahead and head into the arena right away. I should probably pop a heal potion just to make sure I don't get one hit, but overall this boss is really easy, so I'm not too worried about it. I mean, this boss is debatably even easier than the last giant. Most of it is just dodge rolling out of the way. We'll get him to aggro on our friend here, and then be able to get a hit in. And we're doing tons of damage with the mace, which I'm assuming is probably has something to do with the fact that this guy is wearing like a lot of armor, and the mace is really good against dudes in armor. So for the most part, when you fight any boss in this game that is like a melee class character with a weapon and a shield, you mostly just dodge roll between his attacks. Oh, he got staggered there, so that means we can get a couple hits in for free. Every time the boss kind of like takes a step back and looks like he's getting staggered, it means he's staggered. So right now this guy is pretty easy, but later on in the game we'll fight him again and he'll have a friend and it's a little bit more difficult. But there's the Dragon Rider dead. And I did use a friend here. I promise eventually we'll get to the point where I'll fight bosses solo. And I'll try not to cheese every single boss in the game using friendly summons. But I do promise that there are harder bosses in the game that we will be fighting without friends. So eventually we'll get to that point. Alright, so now we get to see our reward here after defeating that boss, which is another bonfire. So another spawn point in case we die. And also a friendly NPC, which we can talk to, and this NPC is actually going to... It's kind of funny, because it's probably easy to miss talking to this NPC or miss going through all the dialogue, but I believe if you don't go through all the dialogue, what happens is you can't get to the next area, because she does unlock the next area for you. So we can buy a bunch of miracles from this chick, and I'm going to buy Med Heal, which just is a more powerful healing spell than the one that we have right now, and I'm not going to worry about the rest. You can buy Lightning Spear, which is like the main damage dealing miracle, but I'm not too worried about that one. It's not very good. The spell does a decent amount of damage, but you can only use it 3 times, and then you have to rest at a bonfire before you can use it again. So it's not very good just because of the very scarce amount of uses that you get for it. So let's go ahead and kill the other boss during this episode, and then we'll be able to... Oh, I almost forgot about this chest. Yeah, you do want to open up this chest because I think it has something pretty good in it. You also want to make sure you're not falling off the ledge. Yeah, 3 green blossoms. Green blossoms are nice because they help you recover your stamina quicker, so you can do more dodges, you can block more hits, and you can get more hits in yourself. And we're actually going to go back and summon the NPC follower here. And the reason for that is there's another boss in this area, which, again, isn't very difficult, but it's just easier with a friend. And using an NPC follower is going to give the boss either twice as much health or give him a bunch of damage reduction, one or the other, but essentially it makes the boss take twice as long to kill. So hopefully this guy doesn't fall off the edge. I have seen this guy fall off the edge, let's just say more than once, and it's pretty hilarious when it happens, but it's also kind of annoying because you just lost your NPC. Alright, so one of the main reasons I like this NPC is for these 2 guys right here, because there's 2 of them, and I'd rather not... Well, I guess only one of them is actually walking at me at once. Usually both of these enemies charge at me at the same time. So I have to deal with 2 enemies at once. I'm really surprised I didn't get hit there by the big sword guy. So the NPCs do have like a ton of health, although this NPC is just getting wailed on at the moment, so he might not like live too long. He might actually die here, which would be really bad. I'm trying not to get hit. But both of these knights are just going to town on the friends. Alright, we're going to take this guy out just to try to prolong the NPC's life as much as possible. And then we're going to take this guy out as well. Okay, he's down. We will heal up here. And Masterless Glencore here almost died. Which is kind of funny, but if he is near death, there's not much point in bringing him into the boss fight, because the main reason to bring him in the boss fight is so that he can tank the boss for a little while, so I can get some free hits off on the boss, and if he's gonna die, there's not much point, but we'll see. Alright, so we're gonna take out this other guy here. I may just attempt the boss solo. This boss that we're about to fight, I'm not very accustomed to his attack pattern, so I very well might not do so well solo, but we can certainly try it. I guess Glencore is like up to half HP again, so we should be fine. Alright, since we killed that guy, we can open up the path to this next and final boss in the area. And this is an optional boss. You don't have to kill him in order to finish the game. But I always kill him just because it's still fairly on in the game, so the most important thing right now is just getting souls, getting as many souls as possible so you can level up and buy better armor and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and open up our chest. I don't remember what's in here, but it's going to be a Ring of Binding, which is nice because that reduces the amount of HP you lose when you die, if you die. So, I mean, I'm hoping I won't, but we'll see. I'm not sure how people are dying here because these bloodstains are people that have died. It looks like they're fighting something. I really have no idea what. Maybe because you have to kill the guy down there in order to lower the bridge. Maybe they lowered the bridge and then they ran back and they died to him while trying to get into the boss room. I don't know. But let's go ahead and fight the boss, who should be the old Dragon Slayer. So, this guy is pretty sketchy. And we're going to try to be using a shield against him. This guy's definitely more difficult than the Dragon Rider that we just fought. Without a doubt. Alright, Glencore is going to try to tank. When he uses the dark magic, you definitely want to back off because that does a ton of damage. Alright, just get on Glencore so I can get some hits in. That's the main thing. We have not died in the game up to this point, so I'd really like to keep it that way as long as possible. And we will be able to like do a lot of damage with every hit because again, this guy is like an armored knight. So, oh no, we don't want to get comboed here. Okay, Glencore, you're gonna have to take the tank for a little bit. Take the tanking duties. I'm gonna get my shield out. I will try to dodge roll, but just in case, yeah, the shield is gonna be able to take all that damage. And we'll take an opportunity to heal up here with our Estus, which admittedly is running kind of low. Okay, he's gonna charge at Glencore, and Glencore is just getting destroyed at the moment. Okay, so our shield just takes all that damage on the nose, which is nice. What's he doing? Okay, that looked like he was going for his dark magic attack. Luckily, he was not, which is good, because that attack is very painful. So you can see here, since we have the NPC summon out, we're not doing very much damage to the old Dragon Slayer here. And normally you do like twice as much, but having the NPC out does hurt that a little bit. Alright, he's focused on the NPC so I can get some hits in. And again, I really do not know this boss's patterns very well. So I'm just trying to play it cautious and back off a little bit and not get too aggressive. Okay, it looks like he's on Glencore once again. So after he finishes with this hit cycle, I can get some hits in. Yeah, he's just focused on Glencore right now, which is nice. Like that, oh, get back. The dark magic really hurts if you're hit by that. So I'm trying not to be. And sometimes if you're standing too close, you can get hit by his spear, even if he isn't directly targeting you, especially when he does those sweeping attacks with the spear. One thing that's kind of funny is the NPC seems to be taking less damage here than he was against those two knights, even though he's had the boss wailing on him for most of the fight. Because the NPCs don't dodge. The NPCs like just tank every single hit to the face. So it's kind of amazing how long he's lasted. And he will last through this fight, which is pretty awesome. So we should just a couple more hits on the old Dragon Slayer, and the old Dragon Slayer is down. I'm not gonna lie there, I was carried by Glencore here, but you know, that's what he's for. And we get the old Leo ring and the Dragon Rider soul. So the old Leo ring is actually really good if you have a thrust weapon. Right now we don't. We have a hammer, which is a strike weapon. And that's good because I believe that a lot of bosses are weak to strike attacks, like I've been talking about, like relentlessly with every single boss so far. Well, except the last giant, because he's not wearing any armor. But I believe that any boss that's wearing armor is weak to like those strike attacks. But this old Leo ring isn't going to do anything with our current weapon, but it strengthens counter damage. And counter damage is really, really powerful in this game. And what counter damage is if a boss is either attacking you, so he's swinging his sword or whatever he has, if he's swinging his thing, whatever weapon he's wielding, or if he is recovering for a swing, if you attack him during that time, you do like a bunch of bonus damage to the boss. And there's a lot of bosses that do very slow swings and then take a while to recover from those swings. So if you use a weapon that has counterattack damage, which is like a sword that stabs essentially, I believe any sort of stabbing weapon has counterattack damage. This ring boosts the damage on that, so essentially it's really, really strong, and you can take out bosses very quickly. And I might actually decide to go for that for now. We could always like respec later on, because you can, there's items in the game that you can use to change your points in order to, yeah, I'm actually going to go to this blacksmith really quick before we end off this episode and see what stats are needed for the rapier, which I believe is the best weapon that he sells for counterattack damage. And we might actually decide to go for this just because I've never tried it before. So we need 12 dexterity in order to use the rapier. And I'm going to see if I have enough points, enough souls to get up to 12 dexterity. And if I do, and if I have enough souls to buy the rapier as well, we'll try it. And see how quickly we can take out bosses, because I do know that it's really, really effective. And we're not going to be able to buy good spells for a long time anyway. So we can always just go for that kind of build later on. So we'll level up really quickly here and put all of our points into dexterity and see how high up we can get. We're only at 5 at the moment, so yeah, we actually can get up to 14 dexterity if we wanted to. I'm going to get up to 12, and I'm going to save the rest of my souls because I still need to buy that rapier. And we'll try it. I'm going to try out like a melee style build here. And unfortunately, I'm using a shield that doesn't block 100% of physical damage, which is kind of bad, but I think it's going to work for now. So we're going to buy this rapier here. Just one rapier. And then I actually will upgrade it a couple times, because what you need to upgrade the rapier is Titanite shards. Or for the initial couple upgrades anyway. And Titanite shards are really easy to come by, and there's actually an NPC that we're going to meet fairly soon here that sells Titanite shards. I believe she sells unlimited Titanite shards. So we're going to be using this rapier in the future, and it's going to be really, really powerful, especially with this old Leo ring. It's going to just do work on bosses. So yeah, we'll be able to see exactly the effects of that next episode, but thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Farewell.